it's part of what we still build someone's when you want to talk about yourself or talk about your life too. So it's part of experience too. So even if it's for you to go there and even get the experience too.
Oh, you mean just those that come back and say, oh, I just got back from the UK?
Well, it's for the fun of it too. Anyway, we don't want to dispute that. But what we are trying to say is there are a whole lot of things that they are doing better than this country. Honestly, that's it. So that is why you will see most people, they just want to go there. Of course, they want a better life for themselves, for their kids, because the mistakes our parents did, we don't want to indulge in that.
In the words of Daniel Alarcon, Peruvian-American novelist, journalist, and radio producer, he once said, "How emigration is actually lived? Well, this depends on many factors: education, economic station, language, where one lands, and what support network is in place at the site of arrival." Okay. So now let's take our second quote, and this one is from Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church. He has been sovereign of the Vatican City-State since 2013. He once said, "Many people who are forced into emigration suffer and often die tragically. Many of their rights are violated. They are also obliged to separate from their families and unfortunately continue to be subjected to racist attitudes and xenophobia." Okay, let's see how all of this could relate to what we will be discussing today. Very warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabelle Oji. Now, I'm trying to search for the meaning of Japa via the internet while trying to search. But unfortunately, what I keep seeing, or what I was seeing, is obviously a different meaning from what they're stating, or from the meaning that you get out there in the streets of Nigeria. But then, thousands of Nigerians leave the country every week, in fact, I mean every day, in search of better living conditions, the good life, or like they say, the other side where the grass is greener. This is widely known as Japa, our Yoruba word meaning to run, flee, escape, or to cut out. Okay, let's be serious. Now, the United Kingdom is looking at tightening the rules on how many relatives migrants can bring into the country. According to the media in the UK, it has been discovered that Nigerian migrants bring in the highest number of dependents when compared to other groups of migrants. It was gathered that the UK Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, is considering tightening the rules on dependents. This is coming after Home Office immigration figures showed a startling inconsistency across different nationalities coming to the UK to work and study. Reports shows that Nigerians accounted for 40% of all dependents who accompanied foreign students in the 12 months to June, despite Nigerian students making up just 7% of all foreign students during the period. Some 34,000 Nigerians were given study visas into the UK, bringing with them a total of 31,898 dependents. A similar ratio was recorded for work visas, with 8,972 Nigerians issued with one in the 12 months to June, bringing with them 8,576 dependents. A Home Office spokesperson said, and quote, "This is the highest on the record in our time series, with the substantial increase representing both a recovery from lower numbers during the COVID-19 pandemic, but also an increase on the pre-pandemic period." Now, that is being serious. So, joining us to discuss the Japa bandwagon, or the Japa syndrome, or whatever they call it, or even the Japa culture, is Sam Adejumo, real estate expert. And I'm sure that you are wondering, why did I decide to choose a real estate expert to talk about Japa syndrome? Well, you're just about to find out after this time out. Do stay. if you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's Television Studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, you're right on time for a chat for today. Our guest on the show today is Sam Adejumo. He is a real estate expert. It's good to have you on the show, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been a while.
Yeah, that's true.
How have you been?
Yeah, not bad.
Okay, so
Not
how's
good.
the real Nigeria's real estate been? Let's start from there, because now I had a chat with some real estate expert also. I talked to I think it was the last I talked to was Dr. Peter Adejumo, and then they said it's actually looking good. But then on the other side is when you go to the field, the people at the field are saying something else. What's it for you?
Well, the business is actually looking good, so to speak, but there's, how will I put it, there's a kind of fake demand in the sense that there are a lot of money within the country that let me put it at a kind of fake money. What I mean by that is that the government does not have money. The government does not have enough revenue. But there is this fake money circulating between individual pockets. So it is that fake money that is what is trying to influence the value of property, not as if that is the real value of the property.
What is the fake money? That's the fake note?
No, not fake note. No. What I mean is there's this like money not worked for, like a kind of corruption. Let me just use that word, yes. So it is that thing, that kind of money that is trying to influence the value of properties, of which that is not the actual value.
How?
But it is because of them, because of course, since those people, they just get that money, you know, they wouldn't mind the way they spend it at the end of the day. Money you don't work for. So of course they will be able to want to, you know, so that's why that's kind of money that is trying to influence the property, but that's not the real value. So that is why you will see the people on field, of course they are complaining, of course, because that's not the actual value. But for those persons that have such kind of money that I say fake money, of course things are going well, things are booming, but it's money they don't work for.
So are you saying that people like you that are the real estate developer, or you are the ones that are enjoying this part, while those that are in the field building, those that are right there in the field, are the ones that are suffering? Is that what it actually means?
No, we are not enjoying it. It's these people that have this money that are enjoying it. Because even if we get the money to even actualize the job, is a problem, because the cost of which we buy the materials and do all of this. So we are not even enjoying it. But because the money is there with them, at least they feel it's good. So they are the one enjoying it, not us. But at least for business sake, we know at least business is moving. They will always call us, they need this, they need that, and they will even want to use that avenue to hide that money anyway. So at least it will make the business go around. But they are the one enjoying it anyway, so to speak, but it is a kind of fake money. So that's my explanation of it.
Is that actually the reason why you have a lot of abandoned properties, especially here in Abuja? Because you have a lot of people who, like you say, they got the money and through corrupt means, so they just get house or get estates and then just leave them lying fallow.
Is one of the reasons, but that's not the only reason, but it's one of the factors. There are other factors too. Maybe they might not do due diligence when they were trying to carry out their project. So after finishing that project, there might be one or two things that they want to settle. So that's why it's there. Or maybe the documentation is faulty. That could be a reason too. And and sometimes, you know, shit happens. Maybe the developer maybe lost his life, or maybe it's something. So there are there are other factors anyway. But this money thing too is one of the reasons, because since the person did not work for the money, he's now using that avenue to hide that money. So even if he does not get a buyer, they are not worried. Let this thing just be lying fallow, just there, let it just keep my money, no problem.
And it doesn't depreciate no matter what. Buildings don't depreciate, the walls don't get cracked, nothing.
Walls get cracked. I mean, if people are not staying in a house, of course it gets cracked. Of course it gets cracked.
And it doesn't affect?
Of course, it affects the building, but the only good thing is that the land will keep appreciating. But the edifice itself will depreciate. So it now depends. It's possible maybe at the end of the day, the appreciation that the land has gotten may now outweigh the depreciation of the edifice.
Oh, so that means you're just buying land, not the structure.
Yeah, but you will be able to blend at the end of. But it's not a good thing to just leave a property fallow. No, of course, it will. The edifice itself will at least will depreciate, of course.
Because I actually have like so many houses very close to my estate, and those houses have been there for even so many years, even before I got there. And they keep saying that they're so expensive. I saw one of them, the pillars are already cracking. And most of them are even finished building. You even have the lightnings, everything that does there. But they're not ready to rescind on whatever amount they decide to put on it. So I'm like, why do these people just allow this thing to keep destroying? Isn't that affecting their money or their capital at the end of the day?
Yes, like I said, the building crack and all of that because nobody is staying there. But of course, some of these clients, if they say that's what they want, there's nothing you want to tell them. They will listen to you. So it's better for them to leave it, let it be lying there. Even if it takes 10, 20 years, they don't bother. So.
All right, now let's go straight to our discussion for today. Let's sail this ship. Now, what is this Japa culture or mentality all about now, especially since late last 2 years, last year, this year, it's been something else off the chains?
Well, I think the person that originated that word Japa, that person must have done a good job. And I'm sure the person does not even know
that to get to this extent.
Honestly. So the person, bravo to the person has done a good job. So, well, Japa, well, you know, the life is evolving. Things are changing. The way we were living 50 years ago, that's not the way we are living now. So, you know, things are changing. So that's the trend for now. That's the trend for now. And so many people, they are keen into it. The simple truth is just that everybody deserves a better life. So if you think there's a place you can get something better, why not? Everybody must not stay in Nigeria, and everybody must not live in Nigeria. Even whichever country you decide to go to, there are people of that same country that you want to go to, that they are leaving that country to going elsewhere. So it's choice, and there's freedom for all. So if you think you have something better or you deserve something better and you can get it elsewhere, oh, fine. So to me, Japa is not a crime, as long as you know what you are doing. So if you know you are comfortable and you find it okay for you, fine. It's good. So, but the people that are going now, it is because they have something better and they are getting something better. That is why.
So that means Nigeria is not offering something better to them?
Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. There are a lot of things in this country, rather, that they are prayer points that you have to go to church to pray about. But when you go to Europe, it's nothing. It's what government will provide for you. It's not until you go to church to go and pray about it.
Name some of them.
Okay, the main thing is infrastructure. You know, infrastructure is so broadened that it cuts across so many things. In fact, when you even talk about the economy of a country. So infrastructure is very important, and we lack that in this country. We lack that. So, you know, we talk about security too, you know, your mind is at rest. You talk about health sector too. Everything is well organized. Everything is well planned, you know. So you don't expect people that are exposed to such, you don't expect them that they will now tell you that Nigeria is better off. No.
But then you have, because you talked about security, in some of these countries, you are also having the US, you also have in the UK, where you have mass shootings and all of that. So all of them, we all have our own peculiarities. Yes,
there is no country that does not have its own challenges. But the good thing about those places is, even if such things happen, they feel remorse for it. In fact, the government feel that, oh, we have let our citizens down. But in Nigeria, shit will happen. Nobody will even sympathize with the people. No action. Nothing will be done at the end of the day. But if such happens, at least you will see concern from the authority. You will see concern. You will see action plans on what they are going to do to stop that thing. And it does not really happen like the way over there. It doesn't really happen like that compared to the way it happens here. So they tried as much as possible, even if they cannot eradicate everything, but try as much as possible to minimize it to the barest minimum. And whatever you do, there's consequence. So anybody that is caught, there's consequence. But a lot of people, they are doing shit in this country and they are working freely. Nothing is going to happen at the end of the day. So the difference is huge. The difference is huge.
Because you said the difference is huge, what exactly is the reason? Why is it so prominent, especially at this moment? Why is it so prevalent, especially this year? The rate at which people just want to live with their family. Some even, like you got in the a particular report stating that in the UK they have statistics that they did. Most people get student visas, but then they bring all their families along. And now, coming from Nigeria, compared with other nations, Nigeria is just off the chains in that regard.
Yes, that's true. And the reason is that people, they've been there, they've gone there, and they've seen the difference. Is it the decent people we are talking about, were they not in Nigeria before? So, of course, they've been in Nigeria, and they've been there, and they saw the difference, and they feel it is better. Like myself, too, my family is in the UK. So I am talking from that point of experience, because what we enjoy there, no perfect country anyway, they still have their weakness anyway, but most of the things you enjoy over there, even when you are not a citizen, even in your own country that you're a citizen in Nigeria, you don't even get it. Even in your own country as a citizen, you are even shortchanged, even in your own country. Whereas when you go to other people's country, they don't even do that to you. So, of course, there's nobody that will see that and says, you want to, at least home is home, at least, yeah, we will always come back, but at least it's part of experience, it's part of exposure, so at least it's part of what we still build someone's, when you want to talk about yourself or talk about your life too, so it's part of experience too, so even if it's for you to go there and even get the experience too.
Oh, you mean just those that come back and say, oh, I just got back from the UK?
It's for the fun of it too. Anyway, we don't want to dispute that. But what we are trying to say is there are a whole lot of things that they are doing better than this country. Honestly, that's it. So that is why you will see most people, they just want to go there. Of course, they want a better life for themselves, for their kids. Because the mistakes our parents did, we don't want to indulge in that. So that's why you see most of them, when they leave, they will try and bring their kids along. Yes, they want a better life for their kids. That's it. Over there, you don't pay, it is free education. It is when you get to the higher institution, you start paying. So as at the primary level, as at the secondary level, it is free.
So your children are going to school for free, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, wow, interesting.
And you don't even have any reason not to go to school, because each location you are staying, there's a library, free library, you have access to it. There's hospital, free. You pay health, you pay for health fees anyway, but you pay, it's a one-off payment anyway, so you have access to health care. There's school, primary, secondary, everything within your location. So say you are in Katampe, you don't even need to go to school in Bega. No. Whatever facility is in that the school in Katampe has, the school in Bega has it. So you don't even have any reason to even go to Bega. So what reason do you have not to come to school? The moment they don't see that child in school, they will call the parents. Why is your child not even in school? Because you are not paying for school fees. You are not going to even transport. Even if you want to transport, at least from 0 to 12 years, it's free. You just enter the bus, they don't pay. So what's the excuse? Why won't you come to school? So everything is there. So, and immediately they finish their college, the second, there are a lot of jobs that they can do. That is why most of them, they don't even go to higher institution. So it is we Africans that even flood their universities. They don't go, very few of them, because it's quite expensive. Their school is expensive. So most of them, they don't go. And since they know that immediately they finish their secondary school, they can start working. So why are they going to school? So it is those opportunities that Africans are now trying to tap into. The mistake is this, that let me say our fathers or our brothers, uncles that went there before now, the mistake they did was that they were just working. They didn't study. That was the mistake they did. So that is the paradigm shift now. Yes, because they were just doing menial jobs. That will not take them anywhere.
Oh, that's the washing plates,
yes,
cleaning.
Do all sorts of jobs. The menial
even washing
jobs.
Dead bodies.
Yes. So that will not take them anywhere. That's why you see somebody stay there 10 years, 20 years. That's the job they will do all their life. they are not improving on themselves. But the paradigm shift now is that we are studying now. So even after getting your master's, you can even decide, I'm not staying in the UK again. Okay, I want to get a job in the US. I want to get a job in Canada. I want to get a job in Belgium. The certificate is recognized globally. And even those that are even leaving this country, by the time they even get that certificate, even if they come back to this Nigeria, they will even be paying them higher. Because, you know, Nigeria they will honor such more than your own, of course. So they will even put them above their own Nigeria counterparts. So, of course, so if it's just that 2 or 1 year just to pay the price, you know, it is better. And over there, I have some friends that they are even through with their master. They are doing good job there. So that was why I said this paradigm
Are they well paid compared with what you get here?
Of course, even the menial jobs they do there, they are well paid compared to the good job you think you are doing here.
Okay, now if we keep talking about that, now you also have people who argue that there they have, especially in the UK, you have tax. So now when if you're being paid 500,000 naira here in Nigeria, you know that you can freely enjoy your money. If you want to go to the lounge, if you want to just play around with your 500,000, that's your own kettle of fish. But when you get there, you have to remember tax. You have to remember gas. You have to remember to pay so many taxes. So what then is the joy of wanting to Japa?
Okay. You know, that country, they don't have any natural resources. So the only form of revenue UK gets is from tax. That's the only form of revenue. But look at Nigeria, we have so many mineral resources, but what are they doing with the money at the end of the day? Yet government is still indebted, yet government will tell you they don't have money, all sorts of things. So since that is the only means of their revenue, of course, they will take it so seriously. So, but the thing is, the tax they are paying, of course, the citizen, or even when you are not a citizen, you are enjoying the dividends. The infrastructures are there, the jobs are there, the gas, the light you are paying for, you will get the light. In Nigeria, you will even pay for this light, you will not get the light. You will pay for water, you will not even get that water. So, you know, though you just you now compare it. So you are paying the tax, are you not getting the dividend? So
it's better I pay so much, but then I'm seeing what I pay for.
And okay, you are paying so much, the jobs are even there for you to do, to even get that money, except you are lazy. The jobs are there. Do you know how many people that are jobless here? Okay, with the way that so many people have even left this country, have gone to that place, are they not working there? There are so many people here, 4 or 5 years, they are jobless. So the job is even there for you to do, except you are lazy. So and you get the money, you pay your tax, and you get the dividend of that tax. So is it not better? Yeah, you will even work at the end of the month, they will not even pay your salary. Somebody will retire, you will not get your benefit, you will not get your pension, you will not get your retirement benefit. So many people, they've died because of that depression. Is that a life?
Let me borrow your word. They said you have to do maybe prayer points to get their salary, even if they worked for.
Yes, prayer point. But whereas you know, it's not a prayer point over there. You do your job, you get more your money, and you pay your tax. It's as simple as that. So
does this actually mean that those who are leaving, because you say your family are there, so it means we will join you with the Japa community. So does it mean that those who are leaving, they don't have hope or faith that Nigeria would actually be better again or return to the glory days where we're strongly known as the giant of Africa?
No, that's not it. But like I said earlier, everybody must not remain in Nigeria, and everybody must not travel out of Nigeria. But you know, everybody with their own perspective of looking at things. If somebody decided, okay, I want to go and stay in another country, it doesn't mean it is because the person has given up on Nigeria. So if I decide, okay, I want to study, I want to further my study, that could be the reason why I'm going. So there are a whole lot of reasons, not because somebody has given up. But anyway, what we are trying to say too is to our leaders that at least they go to these places, they see how things are run. At least they should try and emulate those things and bring it back home. At least let's see improvement. That's all. What every Nigerian deserves something better than what we are getting now. That's the truth. We deserve something better than this. So at least they should emulate those things and give us a better life. That's all. I'm not sure Nigeria is asking for too much. Because if this thing continues like this, it's because the route is not even affordable. I tell you, if that route is affordable, let's say around 1 million, 2 million, I'm sure 50% of the youths in this country would have left.
So then who is this Japa Bandwagon? Who is it actually meant for? Is it the rich or the poor? Is it for the old or the young? Because now you said it's not affordable. It means that you must at least have more than 1 million naira in your account before you think of Japaing.
Of course. Of course. In fact, I wouldn't want to say maybe it's for the poor or for the rich. Anyway, there are, so even when I say it's not affordable, there are a lot of people that are still affording it. Even there was a man I met. This man is over 50. He asked me that I should help him to do the valuation of his property. He's trying to process visa to the US. He needed to know the worth of his property and all of that. And this man is over 50. He already has 3 kids. And the man was telling me that he wants to sell that property, relocate to the US, buy another property there. That's somebody that is over 50 years. So, and that property, when we did that valuation, that property is about 110 million. So such person that has, and that's not the only property he has. So such person that has that property, of course, he's doing well. But for that person to still say, no, I prefer to sell this house, go and buy a house in US, and me and my family, let's be staying in the US. You know the extent of what we are talking about. So they feel safe there. They feel much more comfortable, and they feel the environment, it is better than what they have here. So of course, why would they do that? And so if it's another person that cannot afford as much as that too, they are just living, you know, just to get a better life. Even their profession, even whatever profession that they are doing here, at least they go there, they do, you know, they get a better exposure, they get a better qualification, and, you know, just to better their life. I think that's just the basic thing that they are looking at. So
now for those who are leaving, do they also, or when you were leaving, do you actually consider the economic situation of where you were going to? Because now there are no promises that it will be all rosy there. Like they say, the grass is greener on the other side, but then the grass is only greener where you water it. So, because now you have UK that is also grappling with inflationary pressures, and then some other countries, but then you still have most people who prefer to just have that mentality to let me just leave Nigeria too, even if it is Poland or anywhere, just at least leave Nigeria. So is it that some people will actually say, my own is, let me just go, at least let me keep moving, as long as I've left the shores of Nigeria, just keep moving to anywhere at all. So is it actually a mentality for these people? That's one on the side. And secondly, are they actually leaving and considering the economic situation of where they are going to?
Well, it is good to consider the economic situation of where you are going. And like I said earlier, there's no perfect country. They have their issues too. At least UK too, they are going through inflation crisis. Even US, they are, I think they are in recession and all of that. UK now, you know, there are so many people depending on their resources now. I think that is part of why they have the challenge they have now. Then since they've left, the Brexit thing too is affecting them too. Then the Russia, Ukraine stuff, affected their prices of everything. But the good thing about these people is they are futuristic. Whenever there is a problem, all hands are on desk to, you know, fight that thing to make sure they get a solution. But Nigeria, yeah, anything that happens is the normal thing, is the normal. So all these things now that they are present challenges now, they are working on it. So it's a challenge. It doesn't used to be like that, but they are working on it. That was why at least Boris had to resign. You know, the other woman, Truss, that came in too, after 6 weeks, she could not meet up to expectation. She had to resign. So all hands are on decks to make sure there's solution. But Nigeria will just see it as normal thing. We will see scarcity every day. We will not see light. We will not see road where it's normal thing. But those people, when they have challenge, they always, even before this woman resigned, since there was hike in electricity and gas, every house, they were giving them 33 pounds. Every house, you get 66 pounds. So that
every day?
No, every month, so that they are using it to subsidize the
really?
electricity tariff and
how
gas.
do you get
Before
it? They send it to your account?
No, they said to the owner of the house, to the landlord
wow.
of that. So £66 every month, just to caution the effect. So they are still, they are still working on it. It's work in progress, because they know that there's nothing they could do anyway. But they are just trying their best. That's what I'm saying. So all hands are on deck. They will always find a lasting solution to it. But like Nigeria, when it happens, it just happens. Like anything that goes up, it to continue going up. There's no, So that's the major difference. So the economic thing we are talking over there, with time, of course, they will come out of it. At least the woman has resigned. Another man too, the Indian guy too, is there too now. So and they are, even when it comes to their own governance, there's something we call opposition. They know that when they don't do it right, the opposition is there to tackle them. As in, you will never have that rest. You will never even have that time to do what is not right. But Nigeria, even the opposition here, whenever you give them money, they will keep short. They will not do anything. So they are always on their feet. They are always on the. So it is better once they have challenge, all hands are on decks. They will make sure at least they get a solution to it. So
before we go on a break now, because you mentioned Liz Truss and then you mentioned Boris Johnson now, and then we saw how he left. Then Liz Truss came in and stayed for just a few weeks, and she came back to announce that she should be resigning because she cannot deliver on the promises that she made. Now, for not just for Nigeria but for African countries, do you actually see that happening? I was elected into office. I came in through campaign. People elected me in. So I think I cannot deliver on what I promised you. So I need to resign. I need to step down. And then you have the predecessor who came back and said, no, it is not time for me to go back again. That's Boris Johnson. So do you actually see that happening, not only in Nigeria, but also in Africa?
Well, hopeful. Let me be hopeful. I am hopeful we'll start seeing such. And if we start seeing such, that makes it better. People should feel responsible. People should take responsibility. If you've promised and you cannot meet up at the end of the day, the honorable thing for you to do is to resign. To reserve your dignity. The Secretary of State, she resigned too. What happened? She said she mistakenly sent an official document with her personal email. Because of that, she resigned. That's the way they do their thing. But yeah, what we have in Nigeria, there was somebody that has even been indicted of corruption. The person will still be working. Nothing happens at the end of the day. So I hope when we start taking responsibility, at least it will help us a lot. It makes a whole lot of sense. So I'm hopeful that we'll get there.
Hopeful. All right, let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue this conversation with Sam Adejumo. We'll be right back. Were you open to racism?
Well, racism, it is real anyway, but I think because of the sensitization, it has reduced drastically anyway. So we hope with time it will still reduce moderately, but racism is real. It does happen. Even when you sit in a bus, maybe if it's a white guy that is there, if you want to sit, or some of them, they won't want to sit close to you. They will prefer to stand. They won't want to, but that's his ethic. If you prefer to stand because I'm a black,
that's his problem. Really?
it's none of my business. So we quite understand that, but at least it's reducing by the day. So even if we look at that, that's the bigger picture. But even within ourselves, even we from the same country, are we not even doing racial abuse to ourselves? At least a big man, a big woman, they will have a nanny, they will have house girl in the house. The way they even maltreat the house girl, that we say we are from the same country, we are from the same place, is that not even worse than racist?
If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, you've missed out on a lot. We've been talking about the recent Japa Bandwagon with Sam Adejumo, who is a real estate expert here in Nigeria. Okay, now, so before we went to that break, we actually talked about quite a lot of things, but now I'm trying to understand I can't understand for the life of me the mentality behind all of this. Now, someone who is actually doing very well, who is established, you talked about a particular man who is very well established, who left. I can understand that one, that he wants to go there and go and just he wants a good life, and then he has the resources to go there and relax, or maybe like chill. But then you have a recent report where we saw a banker who left for the purpose of this chart. Let's just say she's earning 500,000 naira as a bank manager or as a banker, and then she decides to leave her job here in Nigeria. And some people will even sell their properties and get loans from family and friends, or get grants from family and friends, only to travel out and go and start washing plates or cleaning the floor or become a cleaner in a foreign land. Why? I can't understand that. Please explain this.
Okay. I think the brain behind it too is because they want a better life for themselves, which I don't see it as a problem. So if you say a bank manager here earns 500,000, this same cleaning you are talking about, that is the minimum job there. The conversion rate, the cleaner you are talking about earns more than that.
So is it about the money?
No.
I prefer to go be a cleaner in a foreign man's land than be a bank manager in Nigeria. Is that it? Okay.
So how about being a bank manager where you are not even safe? In fact, that your 500,000, do you know, is just one kidnap away? What I mean is that even if you've saved up that money, that you have 20 million in that your account, that 20 million, God forbid, if anything happens, is just one call away, that 20 million is gone. Oh, this same Nigeria, you can put 20 million in a business, and right in front of you, everything will go. We will not hold anybody accountable. That same 20 million, you think you have so much in your account, somebody will just fall sick. At the end of the day, you will not even get doctors to attend. At the end of the day, you will finish spending that money and the person will not be well. So those are the challenges they are looking at. So, and like I said, the paradigm shift that people are not seeing now is the study thing. See, a bank manager, the equivalent of a bank manager over there, the difference is huge. So what I'm trying to let you know that the same bank manager, even when you compare it with the list job there, they are almost on the same thing. So if you now study, then you are now doing the same bank managerial stuff you are doing here. You now do it over there. The difference is huge. Because the minimal job at it, per hour, the least they can give you per hour is 9.50 pound. As at this money, pound is 928. So, okay, if you say, and it's not just clean, everybody's just saying clean. There are people that do security jobs. There are a host of other things. There are people that do hotelier. There are people that do porter and all of that. But when you say that least job, somebody can earn as much as £10 per hour. And the person do like 40 hours a week, and you say you're a bank manager here, you are earning 500. When you calculate that money in a month, it's around 1.2, 1.5 million. So if you now come, you study, because that's what people are doing now. You study, probably a year or 2 years, you have your master. You can still do that, your occupation there. Then you will be living large. So all this cleaning, they are saying that's the minimum job. That's the minimum job. But now that people are studying, they are getting good jobs. There are a lot of Scottish. I stay in Scotland. Scottish Power, I can tell you that we have 50% of blacks. Not even but 50% of Nigerians in Scottish Power. Because guys are studying now. Do you know a lot of guys that have finished their master? They are working there. There are some of them that they've gone to Canada.
Is it that getting a job, is it at the whip of a finger?
It's very easy as long as you know what you are doing. It's very easy. I know a lot of guys, they are doing well. They are doing, but you know, the way they plan their economy, you can't just go there and, you know, you just want to establish, like, no, you go through the process. So probably some of them, they do these menial jobs, just pending the time when they're able to actualize their study stuff. So that was the mistake I think our uncles did then, that they didn't study.
Okay.
So they were just doing that all there. But now the study thing is giving us a hedge. And now that people are even going with their family. Okay, the primary schools now is filled with Nigerian kids. The secondary school now is filled with Nigerian kids. My wife, she's the one studying. Even in her department, she said there are about 120 in their department. Almost 100, in fact, 70% of that class, they are Nigerians.
Oh,
So
wow.
you now say, when you are looking at that trend now, and the primary school now, we have the Nigerian secondary school, we have the higher institution, we have them. If this trend now continues in the next 10 years, if the UK is not even careful, I'm sure Nigeria will even colonize them. Maybe that's where God wants it anyway. But if this trend continues in the next 10 years, because all their primary school would have been taken over by Nigerians, secondary school would have been taken, and their university, that's even the work, they don't even go.
But then most people argue that it's actually cheap labor for them. That's why they allow their windows and their doors opened to people.
But they are doing it. They are doing it. They are doing the job, because most of them, since they are not schooled after their college, they are doing it. They are doing the security jobs. They work in the airport. They are doing, there's this job they call housekeeping. They do it. They do it. And now that since the Brexit, you know, before it used to be all these French people, Spanish people, Portuguese that do all these jobs. But since the Brexit now, so a lot of British guys, they are doing it. They are doing this minimal job. But for those that are educated, they are big jobs. They are doing big, and they are earning well, good money, comfortable.
So with the increase in racism and all, even though we keep seeing during football matches where they say we don't welcome racism here and all, and then how much is it, especially moving to those other countries? Are these Nigerians? Were you open to racism?
Well, racism, it is real anyway, but I think because of the sensitization, it has reduced drastically anyway. So we hope with time it will still reduce moderately, but racism is real. It does happen. Even when you sit in a bus, maybe if it's a white guy that is there, if you want to sit, or some of them, they won't want to sit close to you. They will prefer to stand. They won't want to, but that's his ethic. If you prefer to stand because I'm a black,
that's his problem. Really,
it's none of my business. So we quite understand that, but at least it's reducing by the day. So even if we look at that, that's the bigger picture. But even within ourselves, even we from the same country, are we not even doing racial abuse to ourselves? At least a big man, a big woman, they will have a nanny, they will have house girl in the house. The way they even maltreat the house girl, that we say we are from the same country, we are from the same place, is that not even worse than racist? You know? But we are just know with time, at least with the sensitization, we'll get a better life.
So now for someone like you who is established here in the real estate sector, if you get the opportunity to finally, completely stay there with your family, would you actually jump at that opportunity, bearing in mind that it might take a while, if not totally impossible, for you to adjust and then get the kind of deals that you get in Nigeria as quick and as free as you do?
Well, before now, I've always have this mindset that whatever I want to do, I want to have a bigger picture of it. Even when I started my business, I've already have that picture that I want to make it a global business. So global business is, I don't just want to be in Nigeria. I don't want to be local. To me, I call it local champion. So even before this travel stuff, I have always wanted a bigger picture. And whatever I do too, I always ask myself, this standard I'm doing, is it accepted globally? You know, standard-wise. So now going over there, of course, I am talking with, I've already wrote an application to a company that, okay, what I even told them that is that, okay, I don't want you to pay me. I want to be giving you 10 hours of my time weekly.
Consultancy?
No. You know, I can't do consultancy yet. But what I want is, I want them to train me. So that is why I'm telling them, I don't want you to pay me. I will give you 10 hours of my time every week for 1 year. So I want them to recommend me for some certifications I need to get. I want to get the experience. I want to get the knowledge. So I want to sacrifice that 10 hours for 1 year. And we have a deal by January, I will start. So if I sacrifice that 1 year, I know a lot of certifications I would have gotten, the experience I would have gotten. So it will be able to enhance my vision of practicing globally. So even if I practice that does not mean I will leave my business in Nigeria, but my own vision has always been something globally. That's what I want. So now I am ready to pay the price, 10 hours, yes, for you weekly. And they agreed by January I will start with them.
All right. So now, what are the economic effects, especially in Nigeria, with this Japa syndrome? Despite the fact, looking at the fact that we're still grappling with disruptions caused by COVID-19 globally, and then you have the oil price shocks, you have flood that has actually turned things around 360 degrees, and then you have our own national currency, the precipitous decline of our national currency. As at this moment, I think Naira is at 825 to a dollar, and then you still have inflation and quite a lot of issues at the moment. So, and also the individual career, like the medical space, the businesses, the financial sectors and all, how much will this affect? Because if I am an employer and I get employees, it means there have been years of training that you must have gone through, talent building, skills building. So if my employees now decide to Japa all at the same time, how much will it affect these businesses?
Of course it will affect. In fact, lately you will notice that most of these banks, I don't want to start mentioning their names, they've been complaining of network issues. What is the reason for the network issues? It's because they are losing their top guys. That is the truth. Even in the health sector, a whole lot of doctors, nurses, they have left the country for real. Go to the airport every day, you see people, exodus movements. That's what is happening. So of course it's having a bad effect on the economy. That is the truth. Because you don't expect, okay, the way people are living, there's a vacuum. So those that say before now they are not employed, at least there's a vacuum now for them to be employed. But it takes time for them to be able to live up to that expectation. And for that company to even gain its feet again, somebody that has been with them just left, to gain that, it will take some time. So, which is not good for their business. So that's why they would keep telling you they have network issues. They don't, not as if they've not been able to see another person, but as that person been able to fill in that space. No, it will take some time. Exactly. So, of course, and that same person too, I tell you, after a few months, that same person they just go, we still live. Of course, since he knows there's a better... Of course, since he knows there's something better, of course, he will still. So, of course, he's having a negative effect on the economy. And what the country at large has not even realized is this. All these guys that are living, especially those, I'm talking about those living on study route. That's my own point of interest. What the country has not realized now is that even if they've studied over there and done everything, and they still decide that they want to come back to Nigeria, the money that you have refused to pay them before they left, when they come back, you will pay. That's it. So that's the angle they are not looking at it. They are not looking at it from that angle. So now that you are not even paying them well, you are making them to see reason to leave. Okay, they are leaving. By the time they will come back, you will not be paying them as an expatriate.
And maybe in dollars.
Of course. Of course, as I know that the Naira is not even stable. So of course, I like to earn in dollars. I want to earn in pounds. It makes sense. It's so romantic, honestly.
Interesting. Now, so in all of this, now I know that at the core of we know that at the core of this Japa syndrome, which is it's actually a thriving gold mine for immigration, for travel consultants, as well as a story for misinformation and exploitation, even scams from unsuspecting applicants. You have different agencies cropping up at this minute. I know a particular person that I've been trying to travel out for over 5 years now, and he keeps spending so much money to these agencies that have been scamming him. In fact, at some point he actually said they were able to make him travel out to a particular country, Malaysia, and then at some point they left him stranded, so they returned him back. And he said, no matter what, I'm not ready to do business in Nigeria. I'm not ready to go to school in Nigeria. I want to keep trying to ensure that I must leave this country. So for those people, is it a mentality for them? And how do you actually go past that way of this agency? Because they will keep making their own money.
Well, the agent guys, of course, they are making a whole lot of money now that almost everybody wants to travel. But for those that want to travel, what I would just advise is do your due diligence. At least if you have a friend or anybody close to you that has gone, it is better you ask them to refer you to somebody, so you would know that there's an antecedent. At least you know that this agent Or sometimes for you to be, it's better, there's no point to mind the money. It's better to go through an agent. It is their job. They know it better than you. So just let them handle it for you. But make sure the agent has antecedents. Okay, this agent did for this person, so you can do. So you need to do your due diligence. Not that you just see any agent because he writes travel and tours, you start throwing out money. No, make sure there's antecedent, and we have quite a lot of them that are doing brilliantly. There are some of them that there's no months that they don't have success rates of guys that they've been able to get successful applications. So at least that will be able to help them not to throw money around. In regards to the mentality, maybe traveling, if it's mentality, well, I still say it's just because everybody feel there's something better for me. Yeah, and funny enough, I have some people that there's no how you will tell them about traveling. They will tell you they are not traveling. They are not interested.
True.
So that is why I will say everybody will not travel and everybody will not remain in Nigeria. So, but those that are still feeling they want to go is because they feel they have something better. And me, I am a strong advocate of it. As long as it is studied.
Strong advocate of Japa.
Yes, when it's as long as it is study route.
Okay.
In fact, it is a decision you will never regret. In fact, you are not just only going to be the person to reap the dividend. That is the truth. In fact, what you are doing is for your family. I tell you, my son will be 1 next month. Do you know, between now and the next 5 years, doctors have been assigned to my son. They visit him in the house. My son is not a citizen. They visit him in the house, and when they come to the house, they will pull off his clothes. They want to make sure that the boy is fine. They will ask, okay, what is he feeding on? What food is he eating? They will check the surrounding of the house. Is the house safe for the boy?
Probably is the kind of package that you went through.
Study.
It's because it's just studying. That's all. That's why you're getting this professional treatment.
No. You know, when you go through a study visa, you can go with dependents. So my wife, she's the one studying. So myself and my son were the dependents.
Okay, that's why they give you this kind of treatment.
Yes, as long as we are staying there, since we have the visa to stay there. So that's why they are giving us all these treatments, even when we are not their citizen. So even when my son is not even a citizen, they've even assigned doctor for him till he will be 5. That's what they've done. In Nigeria that we are, you have to pay through your nose. You will even pay to even see doctor is a problem. I lost my wife lost her stepmother before we left. What happened? They were in Lagos. They've been going to hospital to do scan, to do test is a problem. You will even pay for the test. They will not do it. You have to still bribe doctor before they will do that test. At the end of the day, we lost her because at the point we were even contemplating maybe she should even come to Abuja, because I think health facility in Abuja is still better compared to what they have in Lagos. Go and do test. They will do test. No, come back tomorrow. Come back this. Before you know, within 2 weeks, that woman, she died. But it is not there over there. You just book appointment, you come to the hospital, you know, or they come to the house. They just make sure, and once they see that your child is not fine, they will even take that child, because what they believe is every child belongs to the queen. That's Queen Elizabeth. That's that belief. So they want to make sure that every child is fine. So that is what you will not even get in your own country. So if you now do all those things, it's benefit you get that you are doing for your family. So it's not what only you will just enjoy alone. So you know, that's the kind of package it comes with. That's why I am a strong advocate, as long as it's for the study. And after the study thing, you have a generally accepted certificate. You can go anywhere, you can work anywhere, you can even decide to come back to Nigeria, pay you in dollars, fine, expatriate. So you know, the sky is just the starting point. So it's a good thing.
Because you say you are an advocate of Japa, I recall seeing recently a former governor stated that those countries accepting people, especially Nigerian youth, are not being fair to the country. And according to him, he said it was wicked for foreign countries to grant visas to talented Nigerian youth. He was quoted, he said, unquote, I am seeing the countries granting visas to our youth as wicked because they are not considering the origin nation from where their prospective labor force are coming from. So what do you actually make of that statement? Do you think that the people that he's referring to, even the Nigerian youth that he is also referring to, will take that word with a pinch of salt?
Well, to me, the man is a comedian. And they say that The man, I think he's a senator, a Mosun, a former governor for Ogun State. Ask him his own kids, where are his kids? Those people, they will tell you you should not leave Nigeria. Where are their kids? Even them, when they are sick, they will go there. So who are they leaving Nigeria for? So you know they are just bunch of comedians. So, but I see no reason why somebody should be discouraging it. But if you think you have something better or there's a better stuff for you, feel free. Go and do your stuff and get whatever you feel you want to get. So you now saying it's why won't they? Why are they giving them visa? Why won't they give them visa? In fact, people are getting visa. That is the same way people are getting denied. So it is not everybody that is getting visa at the end of this. So and anybody that the application is successful, at least they have the liberty. Let them go. Let them do their stuff. And when they decide to come back, fine. And if they decide they don't want to come back, it's not a big deal. Look at the UK now. What is even happening in the UK now? Before Liz Truss, before she emerged, the people that contested with her, there was a black lady from Nigeria there. So we shows to tell you that all this racism now is very reduced now. The new prime minister now, the guy is from India. So which means even all these things we are doing now, once all these people are able to stabilize, you get your documents, you get your citizenship over, which means even in their politics, in their governance, you can even have a say as a black. But even in your own country, do you even have a say? Do you even have all these old politicians? They are just recycling themselves. They are just recycling them. So if somebody now feels, well, there's a better place, they will appreciate my intellect. There are so many guys doing well over there that their destiny would have been cut off here. So it's not a big deal. Let them explore.
Our time is fast spent, but before we let you go, I'm going to ask you two questions, and I'd like you to quickly unbundle them in one breath. Now, for a lot of people who are able to leave or jet out of the country, you see that the joy is second to none. I've seen a lot of people who throw parties and they feel like someone who has just been released from a prison, and they are always very quick to pepper those who are still remaining in Nigeria with their show of partying on social media and all. So what exactly is that? What is it with, like, are you trying to throw your shades at other Nigerians? That's one. And then secondly, do you actually see an end in sight in all of this?
Well, people throwing parties because maybe they've tried the visa application a couple of times. It didn't go through. And I'm sure so many people, when they are, especially when you've not gotten visa before, it will become a prayer point for you. You will start doing videos, you will start fasting. So you now imagine that thing now comes through. Of course, they will be happy. So that's what they are. That's what is happening. But when they get there too, they now see that there's no country that is easy. That is true. You earn money there, but you work your ass out. That's the truth. But it's good that there's job opportunity. You can work as long as you are not lazy, and you work, you earn your money, and there's a better life. Your life is certain, is rested. In fact, if not just that, we know God owns life, Queen Elizabeth wouldn't have died, because the best doctors will be able to attend to her. You understand? So that's that about those ones. So not as if they are trying to pepper others anyway. It's just the joy because of all the fasting and all of that anyway. But maybe if this is going to end, well, as long as African leaders, they still want to continue in this path, I'm sure this thing will not end. That is the truth. But if African leaders, they think there is need that, okay, even if they look at this Exodus movement and they see it as a lesson and do the needful, of course, we will now look at least even guys that have been there, they've gotten experience. Even myself that have been there, there are one or two things I've been learning there that I'm trying to implement in my own business too when it comes to service delivery. So it's a kind of experience for me. So those guys can still come back and come and, put one or two things. But our African leaders needs to be ready for us to they need to give us that platform. So with that, I think it can end. But if they still continue with this trend, it will not end. That's the truth.
What a fine way to end this conversation. Our African leaders need to learn from this lesson. Thank you so much for your time with us, Sam Adejumo. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
Yes, I am happy to be here too. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. All right, I actually like the part where he stated that if not only African leaders, if Nigerian leaders, if we Nigerians are ready to end this tide, then we should do the right thing instead of coming out to complain and keep complaining when we're not working. What a wonderful conversation we've had with Sam Adejumo, real estate expert. And it's been a wonderful time here, definitely, in the conversation. I will definitely see you again next time. Keep watching the conversation, because you never know who my next guest will be and what my next topic will be all about. Till I come your way again. From the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Annabel Oji. God bless Nigeria.